So, what I've learned over the years running my own establishment and being in business, you don't really learn anything until you put your money where your mouth is. And let's be honest, even when you do that, if you do it recklessly with no real intentions, you don't really learn what you did wrong. I didn't do that. I did it with full intention to succeed. But when you do something with full intention to succeed and knowing exactly where you want to go with it and it still doesn't work, you learn an awful lot. And I want to talk about some of the things I've learned in the process of running these businesses. So let's get into it. First and foremost, you want to clearly define your mission. You want to know where you're going and what you're doing and what is it that your business offer. Like, what problem does it solve? If you don't have that part under control, you're kind of moving aimlessly and you don't really know where you're taking the brand. You're just kind of doing it. And let's be real, a lot of people just do it nowadays because it's kind of trendy. It's kind of like the thing to do. Work for yourself. But that's not always what you want to do, especially if you don't understand what you're doing. You can put yourself in a lot of debt. You can stress yourself out more than if you had a traditional job. So you really want to make sure that you understand why you even have the business or brand in the first place. So this next one gets a lot of entrepreneurs, and that one is market research. And what market research consists of is your target audience, your competition, and what's trending in your industry. And all of them pretty self-explanatory. You understand your target audience is the people that is interested in your product or service. And then you have your competition. You want to make sure you have a close eye on them as well, but never focus on them too hard that you don't realize your target audience. And then of course, what's trending in your industry? What is the next popular thing or the thing that your audience is looking for? So these are things you want to know. But when you first start a business, you're not even thinking like that. You're just trying to get your foot in the door. In this one, I actually had a hard time dealing with. It was a hard time for me to grasp it as an entrepreneur, and I still have a problem with it to this day. But having a strong value proposition, and basically what you're looking for with that is when you actually have value behind your product or service, or being able to relay the message of the value of the product or service. Why should anybody buy what you're offering? Like, what makes your product or thing that you're selling throughout your business important? And it's hard to relay that message with so much competition out there. What differentiate you from the competition? That's a tough one, and that's one that you have to learn with time. You're going to fall on your face a lot, but that's a part of running a business and being an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to run a business until you have to do the effective planning part, which is basically when you outline the goals, the financial projections, and strategies of the business. And let's be real, that is the boring part of the business, but the most important part, because if you don't know what your business is capable of, like you don't know the projections, if somebody was to ask you, how much do you think your business is going to make this year? And you have no idea, you kind of running off of nothing. You have nothing there, and most likely you're going to go out of business because you don't even understand where you're going with it. You're just kind of operating it. At that point, it's just a hobby. So in order to really operate your business professionally, you're going to want to do effective planning. We're going to follow that one up with building a strong team, because you want to hire the right people for the right roles. And I wouldn't necessarily say they have to be the most motivated, but you want to try to find people that's somewhat motivated in what you're doing. But to be honest with you, nobody is going to be more passionate about the thing you're building than you are. So don't expect someone to go above and beyond for something that's not even theirs. Most likely you don't go above and beyond for your job. So don't expect anybody else to do that for you, but you can hire people that gets close to it or somewhat passionate. So when starting a business, building a strong team is extremely important, and you do not want to cut corners whenever you're in that process. We had this awesome assistant within our company, and she did pretty much everything for us, but we did not pay her right, or we did not value her as high as we should have, and she eventually branched away. So if you have good people within your company, your business, you want to make sure you take care of them and make sure they feel very welcome to be there. And if you're getting any value from the video so far, if you can like and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And this one should go without saying. You want to be extremely customer focused. Always prioritize your customers. They always come first. I mean, there's no business without customers. I mean, that should go without saying. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. But if you don't have some kind of program or something built out throughout your company or business that prioritize your customers or give them some kind of loyalty perk or something along those lines, you should probably implement that throughout your business. It helps tremendously. I've actually experienced this throughout my company and it does actually help. Another important one, but extremely boring to be quite honest, but financial management. You want to keep an extremely close eye on your finances. You want to budget extremely effectively and you want to manage your cash flow throughout the business, because these are the things that's going to keep your business operating at its highest level. Because if you don't pay attention to these things, your business will quickly go out of business. And I experience this all the time. So when you have a business, you have a lot of different things pulling from it. Like I got probably 20 different subscriptions strictly for my business. So every month I have a bunch of things pulling from a bunch of different directions, and I have multiple bank accounts, and I have a business partner, and we also work with other people. And so the money moves around a lot. And if you don't keep an eye on it, even if you do have an accountant, they can miss things. They're human just like we are. So you have to very much pay attention to your finances or things can get ugly very quick. We are all probably familiar with a lot of businesses that went under due to adaptability, is when they don't switch up due to market conditions and they continue doing the same thing even though things have changed. Let's use Blockbuster and Netflix. That's the quickest example because we all know what happened in that story. Blockbuster refused to start streaming and they kept renting out DVDs in physical brick and mortar stores. And Netflix, we all know, is a streaming platform. And when everything switched in the market, Netflix was already ahead of Blockbuster and it was hard for Blockbuster to catch up to Netflix. So if it's time for your business to adapt, then I highly advise you don't sit and wait. Just because your business model is working at the moment, you want to go ahead and adapt and slowly dip your foot in the water and get over there so you're not the last one that adapted to the market conditions. This is my personal favorite throughout businesses, but effective marketing. You want to be able to market to the masses, offline, online, wherever, and make sure you're paying attention to market conditions as far as marketing, because that also plays a huge role in how you market, because things change overnight. We remember when Meta was one of the best places to advertise. Now it's not so much because the targeting isn't as powerful as it once was. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not what it was. So you have to adapt when things like that happen. And so you can't get too comfortable with marketing. That switches up literally overnight. So be very prepared to switch up your market strategy whenever it is required. Last but not least, the thing you want to do within your business is always keep learning. You do not want to stop learning. You want to always stay up to industry trends. You also want to know what your competitors are doing to a certain degree. You always want to make sure that you know how your employees are feeling. Talk to them. Always be picking people's brain, especially other entrepreneurs that are in the same space as you. See what they're working on and they can see what you're working on. Collaborate. Never stop learning. That's extremely important in business, because one of the things that I believe is you don't fail until you stop doing the thing. So you technically can keep going forever, even if it doesn't make revenue or you're not profitable. If you never quit on the thing, it technically never failed, and you can continue doing it, or you can always bring it back. So keep that in mind. And that's really the tips I have for anyone that's dealing with their business and they're not seeing the growth that they want to see, or they're not seeing the results they want to see, revenue or profits that they want to see within their business. So take that, run with some of those, comment below, let me know how it goes. And with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.